Well, good morning. This morning our scripture's found in Proverbs chapter 22, verse 6, and it goes like this. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he is old, he will not depart from it. Zig Ziglar, a super salesman and a Christian author and a speaker, uh, told in one of his books that I bought how to train fleas. And I thought that was the silliest thing I ever heard of. But he goes step by step and tells you how to train these trees. Now, let me tell you, you get you a little jar, about like that, and you put a flea in it, and you screw the lid on, and that flea will go up there and hit his head, and he keeps jumping, because fleas jump, and he keeps hitting his head, and about 30 minutes later, you can unscrew that lid, and that flea is still jumping, but he's not jumping out because he got tired of hitting his head. So that's the way you train a flea. Training children is much the same way. We train them by example. And, with our three sons, oh my goodness, we learn a bunch in raising kids because I found out that they mimic mom and daddy, what they do. They sure do. And when they're young, it's so much easier to train them than when they get old. Yeah, because they get a mind of their own then. My three sons, I'll never forget, I'd come in and I'd pull off my old boots and set them by the door on the little rug there. And next thing you know, they crawled in them boots and they trying to walk in them. And yes, they fall and, bang themselves up. But you know what? Pretty soon they got where they could walk through the house with them old boots just a flopping around on their feet. And they just wanted to act like daddy. That's all it was. And the Bible is another way of training. It sure is. It's a great training tool. In fact, you see, sometimes as we was reading the Bible, they would crawl up in our lap. Oh, they'd be listening, but pretty soon they'd fall off to sleep sometimes. But this is the way they learned. And when we prayed, I also noticed that they would bow their heads and sometimes be mumbling, trying to pray, mimic mom and daddy. And, we as adults, we watch others and how they respond to different situations, don't we? We're in a learning process from the time we take our first breath to the time we take our last breath, or at least that's what we should be doing, is learning. If you claim to be a child of God, others expect you to act and respond in a way that glorifies the Lord. They really do. People's watching you. I don't care where you at. Somebody's going to see the way you respond to this or that, whether it's happiness or just really tragic. They watch you during your good times and your bad times. Not just the bad times, but they watch you in your good times too. We always must be on guard without fail. We need to be on guard because others are watching us. And who knows? We may be the only Bible them folks ever reads. Yep, that's right. As a child of God, we must keep our guard up and never let it down. Never let it down. This old dying world that we're living in, we should be the little light in this old dark world for others to see. 2 Corinthians 10, beginning in verse 3, says, "For though we walk in flesh, we do not war after the flesh. For the weapons of our warfare are not carnal, but mighty through God to the pulling down of strongholds, casting down imaginations and every high thing that exalteth itself against the knowledge of God, and bringing into captivity every thought to the obedience of Christ, and having in a readiness to revenge all disobedience when your obedience is fulfilled. You see, folks, we are the light in this old world. We may be the only Bible some people read. So regardless of where you're at home, at work, out at the park, fishing, wherever you may be on guard. There's others watching you. They're watching. And we need to be prepared to always have a smile on our face, a snap in our step, and tell others about Jesus and his love. May God richly bless you. I love you, but better yet, Jesus loves you. He died on the cross for us. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye now.